Hey everybody, my name is Josh Rimini. I am the pharmacist that de-prescribes drugs by giving people health and wellness tips, tricks, hacks to moving their health from maybe not so good to vibrant. Follow along if you're ready to go beyond the pills. Welcome. So let's just settle ourselves and let's get a little bit of grounding here. We're mostly inside. We can't physically ground to the earth, but we're going to ground ourselves to be present. And I just want you guys to just sit with your back off your chair. If you're sitting, if you're standing, just stand in a nice normal position, back straight, shoulders back, and just take a deep breath through that nice, beautiful nose of yours. Breathe in through the hips, breathe in real deep, activate that vagus nerve, and just exhale and relax. We want to move that excited brainwave state into a more relaxed, alert space. You might have been coming from a busy day, rush through traffic, get the kids something. So let's just take a moment to yourself. Just breathe in through the nose and just breathe out and relax. And just be mindful of where that tension is. Breathe in for about 5-6 seconds. Pause for a moment. Notice the pause between no breath and an exhale. There's nothing there. There's 2 pauses in your breath cycle, right at the top and right at the bottom. Just notice that brief moment. Just keep breathing in nice and deep and relax as you exhale. Now I just want you to focus on that nice, beautiful area of your heart and breathe in and out through that heart space as you're breathing in and out. Because where you put your attention is where you're putting your energy. So when you put your attention on the heart space, you're putting your energy there. Continuing to breathe your normal cycle, a little bit deeper, a little bit longer than normal. Continuing to relax the heart, relax the mind. Just know that this is all it takes, guys. Just a 90-second recess from life to center yourself, ground yourself, get your nervous system in check and on a little bit in grounded. And I want you to take an intention for the evening and a feeling of gratitude. Maybe it's for this group, maybe it's for a loved one, maybe it's for a team member. Just take that intention of gratitude, that feeling, bring it in as you're breathing in. And on that one last deep breath out, I just want you to breathe out through your heart that same gratitude out into the world. And just notice how you're feeling. That's it. That's all it takes, guys. So just slowly move your hands, wiggle your toes, open your eyes. You always want to come out of those breaths, out of those relaxing states. Come out slow. You don't have to pop your eyes open and go straight back into it, okay? Just come back to me, come back to this world of 3 dimensions, and we're going to move. We're going to get going here. We have 18 beautiful people here tonight. So what's your biggest win? Let's post some wins in here. It could be the same win you posted in the chat this week. I just want to see and feel the energy of what you guys are winning on. It's always important to focus on the positive. So just post in the chat. It could be a small win. It doesn't matter if it's professional or personal or in your family. When we do our L10 meetings, we do our top personal and professional win. We just want to see, what can you focus on that was a positive from this week? Just type it in. I'll give extra love to the first person that did it. Suma's drug got me. She sold more DSF. Awesome. We got our first order from Designs for Health that says Norson. Awesome. No more wins? Come on, everyone's got to win. My win for the week was I went to a dispenser retreat and got really centered, but I really had a lot of synchronicities where I met a lot of cool people that are going to help design a good portion of this project. So I'm really excited for that. How Ronnie shared this in the coaching call this week or in the open office hours, he was told this week that he gave somebody hope when they had no hope. That's a huge win. We celebrated that. That's a great one, Ronnie. Thank you for sharing. So we've got more sales. We're giving people more hope. We're meeting new people. We're moving things forward. Don't be shy, guys. You guys know each other. It's been 10 weeks. We can put as many things in here. Addie says she made her first script with ChatGPT for a video. Did you make the video and post it? I'm going to challenge you to do that if you hadn't yet, Addie, because the world needs your video. If you hadn't posted it yet, nobody can see it. And by the way, the most raw videos that you post are probably going to be the ones most watched because people really, really, really love vulnerability and they love authenticity. There's nothing more than authenticity than just doing what you do. Jenna dove into selling with heart, which she's excited about hearing since June. So very excited. Monica's is personal. They were in separate accidents last week and neither were injured. That's something to be grateful for sure. We're so glad that they're well. Jenny, she had a few health strategy meetings that have promise. Felt great just to be listened to our patients and offer services. Imagine how great your patients feel when they're heard. Jude, huge win, got his DMSE accreditation. Now you can use this programming to deliver that to them in a way that's simple and easy, hopefully lucrative and fun. Amazing. Great wins, guys. If you haven't started your gratitude journals yet, it's really good to start your day and end your day in gratitude. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. When you're expressing gratitude, it's something that's already happened, which means you have an association, feeling, and emotion to it that's positive. And so when you recall it in your memory, your mind and your body can actually go through the process of experiencing again, because it doesn't really know the difference between the actual event and the experience of the event through your mind. So continue your gratitudes, continue them with your team members. We always say it in our team too, like you can never give more gratitude. So it's a big thing. We just don't share the win. The win collectively allows us to raise our energy, raise the positivity in what we're trying to do. So let's get moving. What we're going to talk about this week is scaling up, but how scaling up in a simple and easy way. We're going to talk about growing your pharmacy through this recurring revenue model. Obviously, you're in this Beyond the Pills Accelerator program. So we're focusing our energy around wellness, going beyond the pills. I'm excited. This is a really, really important topic. And I think it's something that's going to be huge and monumental for all of your practices. So we're going to talk about this recurring revenue model and how do we do it and bring it into our ethos of our pharmacies. So what we're going to cover today is what's a recurring revenue model, benefits of a recurring revenue model as it relates to you and your pharmacies, the types of recurring revenue models, things that we can share, things that we can use in this way, in this manner, examples of what we could be doing relevant again to our practice of pharmacy. There's all these models that we're covering are all tried and true business models. What's always the relevant piece to what we're doing here as a collective is really looking at how does it relate to our practice of community pharmacy. That's what's missing. That's what we're trying to figure out and create so we can create the same model that other businesses are using and related to the modern world of our society, of our businesses in pharmacy, moving beyond the pills and into the future, the pharmacy of the future. So we'll explain how this works. We'll explain the client journey, the steps that you need to implement a recurring revenue model that's based on not only bringing people in, but really understanding the tools needed to not just get them into a membership, but becoming members, becoming something more. And getting that recurring means they're coming back. So retention. Retention is a big piece to this component, this idea, this way of moving your business model forward. What is a recurring revenue model? Well, it's a way and manner in which a company, a business, creates a predictable stream of revenue, of income by offering something on, let's say it's a membership, a subscription, an ongoing basis, rather than a one-time sales. You guys all know what this looks like, right? Netflix is a recurring revenue. Your cell phone coverage is a recurring revenue. A gym membership is a recurring revenue stream. It's a membership. It's something you're subscribing to. The difference between a membership A subscription is something you subscribe to, like a magazine or Netflix. It's a recurring thing, and there's not much beyond it besides what you're getting as the subscription. Whereas a membership includes, let's just call that more of an inclusion where you're a member of something. A gym membership could be something like that, or a mindshare group, or this Beyond the Pills mentorship. There's some level of membership where you're a part of a collective. But the real thing is we're getting predictable solutions to a recurring stream of revenue that can be and focuses on maintaining that component. Because once you sign somebody up, you want to keep them moving, right? You want them to continue to use your product. Some have the gym memberships and Peloton prescriptions and things like that, subscriptions. Sometimes their only incentive is to sign them up and keep them going. Sometimes you get it to that price point where some people, have you ever done this? Think about all the things that are on your credit card statement every month. Think of the things that you're recurring that you have right now, but you're not even using. So this recurring revenue model, some people build their business off of signing people up and then having them forget about it for a long time. So just think about this from that perspective. We're not teaching that, but that's what some people's business strategies are. Let's just get the money and keep moving. But if you know me by now, we are a purpose-driven over profits company. It's our core ethos of engagement. It's what I love to teach is we want to keep our members, whatever we're doing in this space, active and maximizing the customer attention. So you get them in the cycle and then you keep them there by expressing more and more. What are the benefits of a recurring membership model or a revenue model? So the first one is you're diversifying your income stream as it relates to pharmacy. The more we can take off the drug sales, the prescription sales, the diversifying, we've said this before, this is one of the things in my keynote speeches is you have to diversify. If you put all your eggs in one basket, let's say billable prescriptions, we know that model is failing us. We know that model reimbursements are going down and almost going sideways. It's subject to fluctuation. So the diversity is, can we go beyond just filling prescriptions from a revenue model so we can create something that's not putting all our eggs in one basket? Just think of the analogy of personal investments. If you just put all your eggs in one stock, and hopefully in the 80s, it was Apple stock and you're a billionaire, you wouldn't need to be on this webinar right now. But most of the time, if you throw all your eggs in one basket in the financial world, you're subject to that fluctuation. You're at risk. So diversifying is huge. And in pharmacy, whatever we can do to diversify off that PBM reimbursement is really going to give us more control. So that comes up to the second piece here is customizing and controlling your prices. The problem we have in our world and our business model, which has been since I've known things in this, we don't control our pricing. We have no control on pricing because we're billing it. We're on the last end of that. And that fluctuates. And we're seeing this now that if we put 95% of all of what we're doing in a model that we can't control, now that we're feeling the heat on things like DIR and reimbursement rates to the point where we're feeling out of control, we're feeling more fear. So control your pricing. If you control this, you control it. That's a huge piece to maintaining your profitability, but it also gives you that certainty, just that safety, and it's predictable. It's regular, it's recurring, you can predict it, and it makes you easy to plan and manage things. So if you know things are coming through, similar to your scripts, if you know you have an average amount of prescriptions per week, per month, you can be more predictable. Imagine if your prescription volume flowed hugely. We all know that we have seasons, but we have a regularity with that flow. The beauty of all this is pharmacy has already created a recurring revenue model. Just think of a refill. Like the refill of a prescription, a chronic medication is a recurring revenue model. We've done things with synchronization to help facilitate the recurring revenue model more predictably. Because if you guys have been along in the sync ride for as many years as we have, the initial piece of syncing was getting an extra fill or two per year. Because what we were doing is we were relying on our customers to refill it. And they weren't, right? Because most people aren't 100% compliant. We're trying to get them more compliant. So if we're synchronizing them and getting them on that 30-day cycle quickly, it's becoming more recurring. But what we're talking about on this side is really looking at the wellness model and looking at what we can be doing from a recurring revenue model perspective in wellness. So think of a supplement, think of anything that could be recurring where you're automatically getting it to them. They're the patient and you, the client and you, the customer and you is agreeing. Netflix doesn't say, well, we're going to charge you every month. You agree to that. So you're agreeing to the synchronization of your prescription. Remember that. So that sync is now an agreement, and now you get the benefits of the stability of that prescription refill, but it gives you more predictability. So we're moving the same system that you already know, but into this type of model. I'll talk to you guys a little bit about what I think about that is. And the last piece from a benefit perspective of what's in it for me, what's in it for us on this model is it's scalable. If you get the systems in place, it's got a scalability to it, whereas once the ball starts rolling, you can move it forward without increasing your overhead, without increasing your operational costs. And it's a scalable model rather than a linear model. So you can scale up faster in a linear model, but a little more exponential. Think about what you can be doing. Instead of having 100 people doing something, you could do 500. The beauty of these things is you won't have to have as much of the same overhead, but think about the prescription volume for checking prescriptions. That's not something that can be exponential because you fill more scripts, you need more bodies. You need more bodies, you fill more scripts. So in these cases, just think of your cell phone coverage. Once the infrastructure is in place for these 5G things, all they have to do is get more people on their platform, and all they're doing is maintaining the platform, maintaining the things they need to do. But they could have 100 customers or 1,000 customers, and the relative overhead operational cost is the same. So this is a huge benefit when you're looking to scale, because this is how we get successful, guys. We have to scale things up in an easy way to do it. So I'm going to propose this as a membership model. Okay, what can we do to create a membership model in our pharmacies? And I really took this idea that I've been playing around with for a long time of how do we get per patient revenue increases in our pharmacy, per patient profit without filling prescriptions. So we've taken this idea in the RX to Wellness Accelerator program of the diet, lifestyle, supplements, and labs, and then creating a program from that where your patients can benefit. You want them all to have all those things, and they're all important. We've taught you guys the importance of lifestyle medicine. We've taught you guys the importance of obviously nutrition, supplements as a key component to the outcomes and the science-based component to it. And looking at it from a perspective of up to date, we've been talking about like doing a signature program where you can have an avatar and you can have them through a whole process with you. And through this process of discovery and through this journey, through this accelerator program, there's programs and there's memberships. For memberships, we're thinking about people that aren't quite ready for a full-on program, but they want something because this is what they fit. So remember we talked earlier, you want to have an offer for everybody. You want to have an offer for the right fit. Majid talk a lot about sales it's not about selling. It's about allowing and guiding your patients and your customers to making the best decision for them. And if they're wanting to go somewhere in their wellness journey, going beyond pills because the pills aren't serving them enough, they're not getting their chronic diseases managed and reversed, or just simply feeling the way they thought they would feel by the medicine, this is your component. So we're taking this idea to kind of bucket this in your heads a little bit. You've got a program, which we've taught you around sort of a cycle of maybe a 5-week or a 10-week program or a 12-week program. Jude, that went through the DSME product is like there's 10 weeks that you can train these diabetics into a process. That would be a program. So a monthly membership is like, let's call it a little level of engagement lower, and also capturing a little bit more of a scalability price because the price points are smaller. So when I was at the beach house and we were doing our vision building, we really talked about some of the challenges that we were having just within building programs for our customers. And one of the things I really started thinking about was some of you guys that haven't gone through this training with functional or integrative and these other things, you're getting kind of confused and stuck. There's a stuckness with creating a full-on program for someone when you hadn't really thought about all the little things first. And so going back to basics is we've heard you guys, we've heard that we want something simpler. And so the way we want it was like, can you get somebody in a monthly cycle or can you sell them a full-on program? So we have programs over here, and now we're talking about a membership to your pharmacy. Think of it as a VIP wellness club membership, okay? What could they get out of that? So you have these pharmacy patients, right? You have beautiful patients in your pharmacies. They know, like, and trust you. This is a big, big piece. This is your superpower. This is your zone of genius. You have customers that you don't need. When Alex Hormozi talks about $100 million leads, he talks about how do you get warm leads? Listening. You have patients. They're right there in your pharmacy. You have thousands of patients that know, like, and trust you because of the experience you've given them over the years. What we're teaching them is some new information. So you have a patient. Now you have to move them in a different direction, but they're still willing to listen. You've already established you are a guide in their journey in their healthcare. They're coming to you. They take your recommendations 80% of the time. That's what the studies show. So now we're just showing them a different way. This beyond the pills approach. So you have your pharmacy patient. You don't have to go out and find more of them. That's what I'm getting at here is that we can saturate your pharmacy patient with these new approaches, these new things that you're doing that are going to benefit from them. They're going to benefit from this. This is why it becomes a win-win. There's no selling when it's a win-win. So you just need to get them information. And so that brings us to this lead magnet we've been talking about, this free service, this free information, this free webinar. It could be a PDF. It could be something there you can give them for value that's going to lead them to a conversation. We talked about health strategy sessions, which is a discovery call, which gets them in a one-on-one session with you to talk to you about what you can offer them that might benefit them. And it also gives them an idea of whether they're a good fit for what you're offering. So that win-win. So you have really, really warm leads. Let's call them your pharmacy patients. You bring them over to a lead magnet. It could be a webinar. It could be a seminar in your store. It could be a top 5 things you need to do to take less medications. Could be anything out there that could be guiding them to something free and grabbing their attention. And then you lead them to an offer. That offer is what I'm proposing in our pilot program. We'll talk to you at the end of this about that. Is can you get them into a mini program that solves a problem and is not hard? Doesn't cost them a lot of money, doesn't cost them a lot of effort, time. Remember, we went over those barriers to engagement, budget, money, authority. Are you able to guide them through that? Are you the person that they want to know? Remember, they know, like, and trust you as their provider already. So budget, authority, do they need it? And the way I look at it is most of our pharmacy customers aren't doing the things we want them to do from a lifestyle perspective because they're on chronic conditions, because they're on these medicines. And these chronic conditions are a lifestyle problem. If they didn't have the lifestyle problem, eating right, exercise, stress management, relationships, and sleep, these are the simple lifestyle things. Are they breathing right? Are they drinking enough water? So can we create something that's a mini program, something they could do for 28 days? Anybody can do anything for a month. This is where you've talked about what's the food program, that's the 30-day challenges and things like that. So can we create something where we can incorporate the diet, lifestyle, supplements, and labs in a simple to-do process? And it's a low barrier. It's a lower barrier. It gets them moving and it's included, okay? Or this little mini program is included, but it's small enough where it's manageable and they don't have to do a whole lot. What I'm predicting, what I'm going to be looking at from the perspective of our store and piloting this with others is, can we just give them a 28-day wellness reboot? They do one thing a day, but they don't repeat it. So it's just like day 1, they just drink enough water. Day 2, they do some sleep habit stuff. Day 3, so they're exposed to 28 different things that they can improve their life. Now they're open their awareness to all of those things. And let's say the 5 supplements that we recommend to everybody are included and the 3 Omega Quant labs. So all of that, all in 28 days, you get emails, you get videos. It's right then, it's right there. They do it. And then we offer them at the end of their 28-day journey. So this is the get started Let's get us used to something low barrier, high impact, low barrier to entry. I learned this today, or I was reminded of this today, is we want to have a problem worth solving, which we do. If they're coming into you and they say, I can't sleep, or I need to lose weight, or I need to reduce my stress, or you can give them little things that can help them. So problem worth solving and the likelihood of solving the problem. So in a 28-day program where they only have to do one thing a day is very likelihood that they can do it, right? That they can move through it. So you make those barriers low. And then on the other end of it is little effort, little sacrifice. There's little sacrifice for the money, little sacrifice on how much time this will take them. These things will take them no more than 15 minutes per day. And then we take all of that and that equals value. So we give them enough value in the front. We get them used to your cycle. This is perfect to if we're using the Well World process. They have 28-day programs. They have 28-day clean living, 28-day cardiometabolic. There's 28-day thing that we can create for them. And then we're including this not in a like, oh, let's just give you 30 days worth of supplements and see what happens. It's like, no, we're giving you the foundational things that you need to move you forward and showing you if you do this for 28 days, you're going to get results. They're not going to be wild transformational, I lose 80 pounds results, but getting them to understand. When you remember, just like a prescription, we tell people how long they can expect before they get some shift in their physiology. A blood pressure medication might take a few weeks. Sedative hypnotic might take one day. So we give them something, we get them going, and we get them used to the supplements we're giving them, the mini labs, telling them they can see those results. We can personalize those dosages for them based on the lab. We see it's a little bit more backed by science. It's not just a program that's an app. It's something that we're delivering some other levels of services. And once they're done with that 28-day process, we offer them a membership into the ethos of our movement, right? This Beyond the Pills movement, or whatever you want to call it, RX to Wellness, where they're getting something monthly. And what I'm proposing is a low barrier cost to getting those supplements, getting access to the app. They can track their health and the omega-3 index, vitamin D, A1C thing. They do that like in a recurring level. So let's say it's every 6 months. They can come in, everything's included in the membership. So instead of saying you get this for this cost, this for this cost, this for this cost, you basically say, as a member, you get all of this. It's included, and we're continuing to add more. You're putting them in this membership so you can continue to keep them under the fold and keep them as your, in Pioneer, we have the gold customer, right? The gold customer gets a little more attention because the prescriptions they're filling in your pharmacy are giving you more value because they're giving you more profits. So we're treating this like a gold membership, if you will. So it created a little checklist because how do you do this? How do you get from point zero to all the way into a recurring revenue? And how do we scale that up? So we've created kind of a checklist model for you to do it yourself. This is the Accelerator program. We're teaching you the tools so you can go back and implement. So if you're selling supplements included in a program and included in a membership model, well, you've got to define the distribution logistics. You got to find the right supplements at the right prices. You got to get it to a level where it's discounted enough. You've got to give the patient a reason, but you also have to give yourself a reason for how this is going to look. And so that's just number one. You just need to know where your supplements are coming from. And you've got some of that logistics handled right now. But my thought process is if we scale this up and we can move more and more pharmacies towards this, we can collectively look at this. And similar to CPA, large majority of you on this call are CPA members. We join the collective because we can collectively bargain for things like prescriptions at a cheaper price. So I'm working on this piece right here to really start pushing that needle towards moving, getting some levels of supplements at a really highly discounted price so we can distribute them to you guys and get this thing even more valuable for your patients and for you. Well, of course, you got to clarify your ideal client avatar for a program. You know, if you've got a patient who's the epitome of health and they've nailed their diet, they nailed their lifestyle, and they're just coming in and buying a few supplements every month and they're happy and they're not stressed out. Like, that's not your ideal client, but we all know in our pharmacies and the standard American diet, the standard American lifestyle, we have a lot of people that could really be using. I always say the world needs more wellness. There's a reason cardiometabolic disease is on the rise. There's a reason that over half the people are going to be diabetic if we do nothing. And so we have to treat our clients where they're at, but we also have to not be scared to show them if they do nothing where they're going to go, because we already know where they're going to go. You guys have filled prescriptions just as long as me, probably. And you know, if you keep filling scripts and they only do that expecting they're going to get better health, their chronic diseases go up. They get more and more chronic diseases. I don't need to share you guys the statistics on all this stuff, but we all know if they do nothing. So this is the step for them to move forward. You can clarify this as a wellness reboot, a weight loss program. There's a stress less program. You can create whatever 28-day, let's just call them mini programs. It's a challenge almost. I know people that do this in functional where they do a 30-day challenge with their patients for a low cost. They get them in their space and now they're ready and willing to move to the next step. And so that next step here for a lot of your customers, they may not want to go into a 10-week program with you yet, but maybe they'll be willing to do a 28-day program that you could do every month. You can start this, clarify it, and start it every month and bring more people on. And then after that, you have something that's giving them way more value than the cost that you're proposing for the membership. So remember, all you need to start something is you need an offer. So that means you need a price. And you need a promise. What are you promising delivering this message to them, delivering this program? A wellness reboot is a promise. We're going to reboot your wellness in 28 simple, easy steps. You can do it today. It only takes you 15 minutes a day, and you're going to be better off than when you started. That's a promise. And you just have to have a way and manner in which to collect payment. Those three things. What are you offering them? What's your promise? How are you going to collect payment? You can get started tomorrow with those three things. We've delivered enough to you today through this program to get you to an offer in these simple ways. Getting people in your cycle is called the lead magnet. How do you get them before they say yes? Is how can you give them something? And what I really like about lead magnets is you give them enough, but they're going to need more. They're going to need your help to get whatever you're offering them through. So you get your lead magnet could be 10 easy, simple solution, like the 12 lifestyle things that we taught you in the beginning. Like you could give them that as a PDF, but then how do you put that into your life? You get an email, you get a reminder. Here's the supplements we recommend and why. Like, so you're giving them more. Your lead magnet could be the 5 supplements everyone needs and why. But then they want to move forward. It's like, well, what supplements are there? So they could do it on their own, but they're generally going to want to go to you because you gave them that information. That's really what the lead magnet is. You want to clarify your sales process. You want to make sure that you have a discovery process that leads them to an offer, that has a script, that leads them to how do we get our patients from no awareness to some awareness? Like, how are you reaching out to your customers every day? Is it through reports? Is it through text message? Is it through your IVR? Is it through your messaging? There's so many ways to do that. How are you following up with them once you outreach to them? How do you get them in your cycle of, let's say, your health strategy call? How do you track them? So you want to make sure you have a system in place to track and measure. What you measure improves. What you measure and track will improve exponentially. Said that before. My Oura Ring's charging. But if I don't track my sleep every day, I don't know if I'm improving it. So that's why part of this is the labs, which I really like. And then what are your key performance indicators? What are the things that you're tracking to measure success in this process? It's not just enrollments, it's outreach. It could be attrition rate. It could be, what are my lead measures? What are the things I'm doing up front? What's my conversion percent? These are the things that we can start working on. What's our profitability in this? And then you just want more and more assets. How do you create a sales page so you can send your patients the link? You can put it on your website. How are you getting them interested in what you're doing? These are things that we can be doing on a constant basis. If I've learned anything in my journey, we could always do more content. We can always do more emails and then create the deliverables. But let's not get stuck here. Addie was saying, like she did the video. It's like, we can't get stuck with making the thing happen. If you don't have videos yet, just do 28 daily emails and then do the videos. So let's get the deliverables, but let's get that version 1, that minimum viable product moving for you guys, moving for all of our stores so we can move forward. I bet you ChatGPT could give you 28 emails about healthy living in 30 seconds or less. And then you just modify it the way you want to look at it. Okay. So these are things we can do. And then, of course, you got to train your team to execute and not just put their head down and fill prescriptions and not get this thing moving, right? We need to make sure that everybody's included and that this is part of your daily process of who you are. I love the idea of putting something out. I saw this at Snooze. It's a breakfast joint in Charlotte. It's a really cool breakfast joint. They got clean food and it's just delicious. But they had a little sheet on the table, just like a little stand-up thing. And it says, we do breakfast different. And it showed like 5 bullet points of what they do. And one of them was like about the community and giving back and having clean food and something like that. But like you could do something on your registers is we do pharmacy different. And this is what we do, which gets people aware. And then that becomes your ethos of your engagement and your culture. And then you just create that process of converting your patients from a program into this membership model and how do you sustain them. So you could do all of this. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. We've created a process around this and we're diving in the next couple of weeks. I know I got some Dilworth people on this call. We're going to be initiating this process because I feel that this is a really, really first step for our patients and our pharmacies to deliver something that could be scalable fast. And what we need is fast right now. So we're taking on 10 to 20 pharmacies that want to do this with us as we grow, and we're calling it 50 members in 50 days program. That's not our promise, but that's our goal. That's our intention. Can we ramp 50 patients up in 50 days through this process? I want to invite you guys. You can type in the chat. You can email me if you're still interested in running a pilot with us. We have that offer out. We want to make sure people are doing like the way we're going to do it in multiple ways so we can prove this model is scalable to many pharmacies. So I'm really excited to look at this from that perspective. Okay. So this is sort of your guide. This is your model of the steps that are needed. And I'm really, really excited for this. I think this is going to be the game changer. And I think this was what we were really looking at from the beginning of the RX to Wellness Accelerator program is what is simple. This is very simple because we're getting our patients from just filling scripts into the model of diet, lifestyle, supplements, and labs. We're taking the barriers away. So it's a low barrier and an easy offer. And so I just wanted to kind of share that out. There's version 1, you do it yourself. Great. We've given you all the tools to do it. I want you guys to continue to do this. You can dive into the pilot program. We all know that the double DIR hangover thing is failing us, but we're looking at getting this process down. I just do math in my head all the times, but it's like, even if you're making $25 per month per patient in a membership model. If you scale that up to, let's say, 400 of your patients because you got them in that ethos, there's your $10,000 a month of profit that you didn't. Just imagine if all your patients were in your membership, but I'm only talking 400. That's like 10%. I always say saturate the 10% of people that are willing to do that now, willing to buy for you now. But having $10,000 of extra profit per month by having 400 patients into the process. I know it sounds hard to scale to 400. We're going to work with you guys in the pilot to get you to the 50 marker. So you could do it yourself. This is how Majid talks it, right? You can do it yourself. You can do it with me. You can do it with other people like me. I don't think anybody's doing this in pharmacy. I think that they're doing other membership models around some other things, but adding wellness to membership is something that we can do simple and easy right here. So join the pilot. I'm going to be creating a survey for people in the pilot because there'll be some certain criteria for people to understand what we're trying to do and what they're going to commit to if they join the pilot. Because I think first adopters, you're going to get, if this thing works great, you're already ahead of the game. That's why first adopters are great. But there's going to be some specific rules of the criteria of developing this for you and with you. And this piece right here, guys, is going to be the main focus of the version 2 of the Accelerator program that we're going to create with CPA and people not in CPA for January, because I think this can be taught in about 4 weeks and implemented in 4 weeks to scale up fast. So if you think about it, in 3 months, scaling up to 50 members gives you, we're talking, let's say it could be 20, you set your prices, right? Everybody keeps saying my patients won't pay. I'm in this rural area, da, 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 da. But what if we got the supplement costs down? You provide a few simple labs, you create some technology around some of your programming, whether it's email or app based, and then you put them in a recurring cycle with the sync process. So imagine if all your sync patients were now members and you were getting an extra $25 or $35 a month from them. Or maybe it's just $10 a month for you. I don't know. But it's that recurring revenue that scales up. But imagine if you had 1,000 customers and you were making $10 a month on each of them. Profit, pure profit. So we're not doing much more than what we would already be doing, and we're offering them wellness. Imagine if your patients were all taking those 5 supplements, doing simple things to improve their lifestyle and diet, and doing some labs to track and measure those, and track and measuring through health tracking, whether it's the Well World app or some other thing that you try. Imagine if they're doing all of that and they're getting a lot of value. The impact we're having in a lot of our patients' lives would be massive, massive. And so scaling this up fast is my purpose of the next month and moving this forward into a lot of your pharmacies, because in my mind, this is the solution to the DAR hangover, which I heard staggering stats from somebody when I was at the health expos. They're predicting that might, I don't want to put fear in everybody's eyes, but they said 40% of pharmacies won't have the cash flow when this thing happens. Developing this out quickly, but in a consistent way, is really my goal right now, because if I can get some of these key pieces done and ready and moved, we can scale this up to CPA. We can scale this up in pharmacies. It's not going to be that hard. And so I'm jazzed up for it, because this is the solution that I think a lot of the pharmacies that haven't done much in wellness can really grasp their head around it. Because I can do 28-day sequence and just deliver it to you guys. You say, use this 28-day, do this email. Like we're creating the portal so pharmacies can just grab onto it and use it for themselves. They don't even have to do a lot of the work. We're going to do it for them. We just need them. You know, my mentor told me today, is like, if you give them a turnkey solution, they still got to turn the key. There's still work to do. But I think if we're removing as many barriers as we can right now, the time is now, and a lot of people can benefit from that. So that's the recurring revenue model. That's the membership wellness in your pharmacy model.
Thanks for listening to the Beyond the Pills podcast. You can find Josh on LinkedIn and Facebook at Josh Rimini, and on TikTok at Beyond the Pills. And if you enjoyed today's episode, we'd be forever grateful if you left a review wherever you get your podcasts. If you know somebody who wants to go beyond the pills, send them this episode. If you've got any specific questions or ideas for future episodes, reach out to Josh and send him a message. Thanks again for being a part of the Beyond the Pills community. We'll see you next time.